Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in Hungary. And as usual, I'm Ben Raggan McConnell, but this time joining me in the F2 races, I'm not alone today. I'm actually joined by the incredible, talented Furball. How you doing?
Good evening, chat. Good evening, Raggy. First off, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
I'm fantastic because for the first time this season, I get to commentate an RNL of 2 race, and we are on a wet Hungarian.
Why do you get all the spicy ones? I'm pretty sure the last time we commentated together, it was another spicy race where it was racy straight off the bat. Raining, straight off the bat. You know, this is going to be the one-shot qualifying in very wet conditions. So if we go into a dry race, it's going to be very difficult. But who do you want to go on board with for the one-shot quality of
that? Let's go with Piloto Paya, the Grandmaster of F2 cars, obviously.
He really is.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's fair to say that he's, as always, going to be the man to beat on this evening.
Yeah, I mean, the guy literally comes week on week, he turns up, and every time he turns up, And I don't just mean punctuality, he also smashes it when it comes to the fastest laps. In the qualifying, he smashes it when it comes to the races, quite often gets race wins, but I haven't actually seen him race in the wet conditions, at least in qualifying for sure. Right now, he is still at the front. He's just fighting along with Aviator and Beaker currently for that top spot. Although Beaker, he actually is someone who is a big fan of the wet conditions. I think he fancies himself as like a different Max Verstappen, a younger version of Max Verstappen, but not quite better, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but let's be honest, Beaker is one of the quicker drivers on this grid. That being said, we have kind of a smaller grid today, which doesn't have to mean that it's going to be worse. It just means that we're going to have more action on track with less cars.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the wet conditions, especially in these F2 cars, the rear of these cars is already very unstable. I mean, it's so easy to just lose the rear in the lower gears, like 1, 2. You can see the cars step out quite drastically, and especially as you start to get comfortable in gear 3, it can again just snap. And right now, they're trying their hardest to navigate through the final corner as here comes Piloto Paya. He's looking to take it, but he's just lost the rear. And look at the place he's losing. P5. I mean, look how close it is on the grid. You got 145.062, then a 145.148, and it was like a tenth between them for like the top 5, I think it was. So it's really starting to look pretty spicy. And Piloto, crossing the line in style, does it the wrong way. All right, here you go with the rundown of the drivers. At the end of the one-shot qualifying is Aviator, who's going to take all 4 of those points. It's Jack in P2, literally just under 1/10 of a second behind. Then Beaker in 3rd, with Landos Milman in 4th. Piloto Paya, who very stylishly crossed the line in P5. Noosa there in P6. Roshko in P7, with Dark Demise in P8. Marquez P9, Azia P10, with Jeb getting best of the rest, beating Ravenduck, Foxy, Charles Stupid, and that's it. So, quality is out of the way. We're going into a feature race, 25% feature race. I want to hear from you, Fairball. Who are you backing for the race win?
Let me check out the weather first. I think that's going to be a very important factor here because, as you saw, I think Piloto was on a good way to a pole position, but it's so easy to just lose the rear end on the traction in these cars, especially on this track, and even more so in the wet, obviously.
Yep, well, it is dry, so it's a good indicator that we're going to see some comfortable driving, shall we say. Especially more than the qualifying, that's for sure. So, go on then, 1, 2, 3, let's have it.
I'm going to go for Piloto. I think he's going to take the lead here quite quickly and then just drive away. Even though it's in the dry races, we tend to have closer racing. For P2, I'm going to go with Beaker. I think he's pretty stable driver in the F2 cars. And 3rd is going to be Aviator.
The temptation there to get Beaker was just a bit too easy for me. I decided against it. However, I can see what you're saying. Piloto is seriously quick, but this is a track where overtaking is very difficult. The only way to really do it is down the home straight when you got the DRS wing, or if somebody makes a mistake on track, and it'd have to be quite a colossal one because there's just so little room. You're looking at turn 1 is going to be the main one, turn 2 is an option, turn 3 is going to be very difficult. You can only really get turn 3 overtake if you're already alongside someone, and then after that you pretty much have no chance until you get around about to sector 3 where there's an opportunity there, I guess, if you want to brake late going into the right-hander before you get to the hairpin, the first hairpin. And then again, it's all about the exit in the final corner to make sure that you get the run you need, get the toe you need, get the wing open, and just see what you can do. Remember, these cars don't have ERS that you can utilize anyway. It's all, everything on here is automatic. So you need to focus on just being the better driver, making sure you get the better entries, better exits, all these very key things when it comes to the natural driving. And I want to believe you. I want to believe that Piloto can do it. I'm actually backing Jack. I think Jack has this today. Jack is really starting to show me how good he can be. I fully believe that Jack has got the goods. And I want to see him take that P1. I think last week, or maybe the week before, he secured a very good position. And it was really quite fun. I actually really enjoyed watching his race. It was very comfortable. It was last week because it was Germany. So yeah, no, Jack's got this. Aviator P2. Do I believe? Yeah, I believe. Beaker P3. Beaker P3.
Yeah, this is very much going to be a race in which I think the person who makes the least mistakes is just going to be the one winning, to be honest. Because in low gears, it's so easy to just lose the rear end of these cars. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, when you got these, there's a lot of slow entries and fast, well, and you got to get the really quick exits, you know, where you got to get a stamp on the throttle, which can easily cause the cars to rotate, and I'm expecting to see it, especially as we go in towards turn 1, but we're about to see the first race in the F2 cars. The lights are on. And it's go time here in Hungary. We've had a really interesting start. Everybody seems to have got away quite nicely. No major issues for anybody around the track. I'm seeing Jack defending that line on the inside as hard as he possibly can. That's Lando's Milkman trying to get down the inside. It's Aviator who's going to be holding P1. And that's Lando's actually sticking right there alongside Jack. Jack somehow, there's been a rotation. That's Noosa, who's somehow facing in the wrong direction. But I think he's kept his entire wing in check. Yes, he has. As damage has been returned back on again for these races. Just to... we're trying to find the right balance, and so far we seem to have found the right concoction, if you like. Concoction? A word. Go.
Mix. Mix?
Yeah, mix. I'll go with mix. Yeah, stir it. Get it all together. Jack is still P2. I'm not really seeing any signs of issues from him. And I'm seeing a lot of 3-place grids, 3 places gained for some of the drivers. Foxy, Ravenduck, Jeb, all gaining 3 places. Noosa, obviously, with that one spin, has caused himself to lose 8 places. He is now down at the back of the grid, and with a hefty gap between him and P13.
Bika lost out massively at the start. He went back to P6, but then managed to overtake Roshko into the chicane. And he seems to be struggling in these early stages of this race.
Now I am watching Lando's Milkman as he went through that quick right-hander towards the end of Sector 2. He did run very wide on the exit, which is what caused him to almost go into the wall. He's not really lost much though. He's still on the back of Jack, and we don't yet have DRS, as DRS is enabled on lap 3. So at the minute it's just watch your toe, watch your gap, watch your exits, and I think Piloto's about to pounce.
And so is Jack. That's a really good
Ravenduck's gone.
battle.
Oh no, he's lost it on the exit of the final corner. He's gone into the wall, and that is his race over and out. And that is Jack and Aviator having a little bit of a scrap as well. Jack tried to take the outside line through turn 1. It didn't work out for him, and that's why he's still falling back into P2. Aviator's hanging in there, defending that tight inside line. If Jack would have been able to get alongside of him, he may have been able to get the inside for this corner, but look at the instability on his car. He's not quite able to keep the car pointing in the right direction as easy as he wants it to, and that's allowing Aviator to just sit a little bit more comfortable than before. But realistically, until the end of this lap, as DRS is going to be there.
Well, not for the home straight yet, but I think the toe alone might aid Jack if he manages to stay this close to Aviator in front. This is actually very interesting currently. We have a fight for P1, we have a fight for P3, and I feel like Aviator and Jack might not want to fight too much against each other, because they will just hold each other up, and if Piloto Pyre manages to overtake Lando's Milkman soon, he will be able to catch up, and, well, we know how quick he is.
Yeah. I think realistically, P1, P2 need to work together here. Just try and break away from this gap with the drivers behind them. The gap's already pretty much there. It's just now just cementing that, locking it in a little bit. There's actually a battle going on further down the field. That is Noosa trying to get down the inside of Charles. It's not quite working out. As a result, he's just going to have to sit comfortable at least until the end of this one. So the toe is in action. no DRS yet. It has been enabled this lap. As you can see now on the graphic at the bottom left, there is actually a moment between Piloto and Lando's Milkman. Piloto's trying to take the outside line here between him and Lando's, but Lando's has defended that beautifully and will keep that together. In fact, it looked like Jack and Aviator had a really slow exit through turn 1. Look at the gap that Lando's has suddenly pulled on this now. He's really close. Oh, there was a little kiss there between the front wing and the gearbox of Jack's car, but they are still going strong. Beaker is trying to fight with Piloto. Lando's, is he really going to go for it here? No, I thought he was. I saw the car line up alongside of it. I thought he was about to just fire that down the outside. It would have been a very tough overtake, but he decided, nope, not today, not now. I don't want to die.
No, had he tried to overtake there, probably would have ended in tears, especially these cars with the massive oversteer you just get, which is also quite visible in turn 1, because the cars trying to take the outside will just lose out basically every time, because they just cannot take the turn if they try to take more speed into it.
So, Piloto, Beaker, they are holding down the back of this train. I say this train, like Roshko's not in it. He is in it, but that gap in these F2 cars is just a bit too severe. Beaker locking up a little bit there because he got caught out by Piloto's slowness, if you like, through there. And Piloto, actually, he's now on an opportunity to attack Lando's because Lando's made a similar mistake to what Beaker made. It's just Lando defended it a little bit better. Another lock up there from Lando. This is surely spelling disaster now. P3 should easily go to Piloto. His DRS is not enabled. Oh, there we go. It's just very delayed to enable it. Not sure why.
And Jack's attacking Aviator for P1 now with DRS. And he's trying to take the outside again. Aviator just smartly positioning his car. Jack trying to get the switch back. It's very, very tight. Good run.
He's done it.
Out of turn.
Oh, no, he hasn't. Oh, no, big crash. Boy. Oh, they somehow keep it together, although Aviator's gone off towards the left-hand side as well, and there's more damage. That's both end plates, I believe, on his car gone away. It was a little bit tough for both of them, and he's gone off into the wall, and Aviator's race has pretty much done. He has 0 front wing, and even if he can recover and get himself back to the pits, that will pretty much be the best he could hope for. So, feels sad for Aviator, but all is not over. We still have another race after this. It's going to get even better later.
It is. It's going to get even more tighter. Well, Roshko off the track, losing the rear end through the chicane. So he definitely lost the train and is out of the fight for P1. We have Lando's Milkman in front, now pulling away from Jack, which is good for him. Very wide, everyone going through there.
Now, I didn't see if Jack got damaged. Yes, he has, actually. Right end plate has left his car, so he only has the ability to turn left easy. Turning right is... Sorry, turning right is easy, turning left is not. That's what I was meaning to say. Yeah, that's going to be the hard part for him, really. But, again, he's in tow of Lando's Milkman. If he can hold P2, this would be good for his overall weekend win chances. He did win for the first time last weekend. Can he make it 2 in a row? Well, he's just injured his chances, I guess. Lando's knows to go for the inside, and Jack, again, like you said before with Aviator, going for the outside. This time, the cutback is not available, as Lando's defended the inside much more than Aviator did, and despite the fact that the tow is there again and the DRS is there again, unless Jack can pull off a miracle around the outside, as Lando's goes a little bit deep there. That's actually caused Jack to get a little bit of contact, but no damage, and still stays P2. But Beaker, he almost binned it. He caught the car, but look at the gap now between them. That was a very scary moment there for Beaker. His heart would have definitely dropped out.
It's not over for him yet, though. He has a full front wing, and he's only 2 seconds back. There's still half of the race to go, and if the 3 in front keep fighting, because probably going to catch up again. Jack is surprisingly quick with a missing end plate, to be honest. He's doing really well, and I think he's actually still fighting for P1, surprisingly.
He's keeping up with Lando's. Lando's looks like he's struggling more on the brakes than anybody else, but I'm also watching this battle just a little bit further downfield. This is a battle for P7, remember. So Jeb is leading this, Marquez is there in P8, and Noosa in P9. Foxy is sort of in this, but he's just... Now he's outside that 1 second margin. The DRS is not going to be available for him. I've just seen, I think, Dark Demise having issues, which allowed Beaker to just pull a little bit more of a gap. 3.1 seconds is where it sits right now. Roshko coming up to the back of Dark Demise, and I think Dark Demise is about to lose P5 as we come to the DRS zone again.
It's possible. The exit out of the last turn is so important here, because you really need to take all the speed you can onto the home straight. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble either defending or attacking, depending on what situation you are. Looking at the front again, Jack is not able to really overtake Lando. So even though Lando is struggling, as you mentioned already, he is still able to keep P1 and keep Jack and Piloto Pi behind him. And Bika's slowly but surely catching up again, and he still has almost 4 laps left. So I'd argue that this is a 4-way battle for P1 at the moment.
Hold that thought, because Marquez is going down the inside of Jeb. There's contact. Jeb almost getting his back end kicked out by Marquez. And Noose has got himself involved in this. He's now past 1. He's looking to pass 2, but I think this might be a little bit too much to ask for, as Jeb is kind of closing the door on him. And Noose is trying to give him. He's going for the outside line. He's going to run seriously off track. And I think he might be able to hold it. No, he's not. It's just lost out. But look how big this battle has got now. 5 cars here looking for P7. Who's going to get it the most? I don't know. There was definite contact between Foxy and Marquez, and they have just cut that corner quite drastically there.
And don't forget that positions 7 to 11 are involved in this. And this is very important, actually, in the F2 races, because P7 is going to start from P2 in the sprint race, P8 from pole position, actually. And the people in 9, 10, and 11 are just going to lose out entirely.
Yeah, they really are. We actually have some position changes. Ozzy has just jumped up to P10, so he's now in the points. Marquez swapping with Noosa. There's a little battle that's been going on for a little while. Dark Demise and Roshko, they're going for a little battle. I think this actually favors Roshko now. He's got DRS. Yes, he has. So realistically, all Dark Demise can do here is just use this tow to its full effectiveness, and right now, he's actually looking like he might even be faster overall. He's got the better wings, it looks like. Going deep into the corner, a little bit of a lock up there. Still staying alive, and we need to quickly look to the front, because the battle between the top 4 has just resumed as it was before. But nope, I thought there was going to be a little change of positions. There isn't. Jeb and Marquez had a moment, but they've swapped back to where they were before, and it's now 7 and 8. Jeb Marquez, although Marquez again, same place. Can he get the inside run this time? It didn't work out last time, and Noosa was the one who benefited the most. This time, he can't benefit. Jeb runs seriously off, and Noosa almost sent himself into the trees, but he's still driving, and that is important.
It is, of course. Looking at the front again, this is so tight. Lando's Milkman just not able to pull away from someone without an end plate, which is surprising. And as I said, Bika managed to catch up again. He's fighting for P1 in this. And
Piloto, he's going for it. Look at that alongside Jack. Jack is about to lose it, although he's turned across him. That was very on the limit there. He gave him just the right amount of space, and that allowed him to just resume where he was. And Beaker's coming down the inside. There's definite contact there. Beaker getting sideways a little bit, but they're still in the same position they were before. But now it's the DRS city. We have battles going on further downfield as well for P8 and 9. I want to watch it, but I haven't got enough eyes for this, as I need to go back up to the front runners because Beaker's coming. Who is going to benefit most from this? As Landos is trying to shake the toe. Is Beaker going to go late? Yes, he is into turn 1. Piloto's going to be left out high and dry, but I think Beaker's going to get the exit as well that he needs. No, he's not. Piloto gets the run, and that's going to put them all right back to where they were before.
Piloto tried to overtake in the last sector on the last lap because he really had to. It's so hard to overtake on the home straight if all the cars have DRS. And he's been trying this for, 5 laps now, trying to pass Jack with front wing damage, and he just cannot do it. It's kind of sad to see for him, at least.
Yeah, as he almost runs into the back of Noosa there, just getting caught out by the slowness that was happening there from I can't actually tell who that was. I think it was Noosa.
Landos Milkman missed the chicane. He didn't get a penalty, apparently, because I think we are actually on regular corner cutting. But he managed to keep P1 because of it, which is, questionable, at least. But let's see what happens on the main straight. Jack, really close, obviously. And if he manages to get a good run out of last turn, he might be able to take Lando into the first turn of this feature race. And Landos Milkman locks up into the basically hairpin, and he's going to lose more time. So this is going to be basically the last move everyone can make here.
Unless they go side by side, and you can see, I have seen this happen actually a few times where they go side by side for majority of the lap. Landos is trying to shake that tail. Piloto Pi is also here as well, also trying to find any way through. Beaker is trying to fire one down the inside. He's not going to get it as the door has been closed from Piloto. Jack has the run of dreams. He's going around the outside here on Landos Milkman. If he can keep it there throughout the entirety of this left-hander, he should be able to get the exit and the position as they come to the right, but he just doesn't have the grip. He doesn't have the pace, and that's allowed Landos to get back into P1, but it's also allowing Piloto to come back into this along with Beaker hunting down for P1. The podium position is being very much fought out for here as Beaker wants it. P4 is not good enough for him. He needs that P3 at minimum, and he's going to send it here. Surely he's got to send it. Piloto covers it, but Beaker's still looking. No change of positions. I think we're going to cross the line as this, you know.
Unless someone really sends a Hail Mary here. I tend to agree with you. It's going to be hard to overtake. Not impossible, though. Let's say Lando Smirkman just makes a mistake. Not that I want him to, but it's possible. But he seems to have this on lockdown. He was struggling earlier. He doesn't seem to be the fastest out of this pack, but he managed to keep...
Oh, no, Beaker! He just went into the back of Piloto and just pivoted Piloto, so he gave the position back. I don't think actually Beaker got any damage.
Nope.
But that very nearly ended Piloto's race.
Yeah, I think that was the only move Beaker really could have made there, giving back the position and not overtaking. But
well,
that means Lando Smirkman wins.
It does. Landos gets P1 with Jack in P2. Piloto taking P3 means that Beaker was just outside of that podium position. He tried his best to get that position snuck away from him, but he was just too far, not quite got long enough arms to dunk that one into the basket, and unfortunately it is going to be Beaker outside of the podium. But everyone else really starting to spice things up. In terms of the P8 battle, who's going to get P1 in the next race? Marquez is the one who's going to get that P1. It is going to be Noosa in P2 and Dark Demise in P3.
Well, congratulations to all of them, especially Marquez, obviously. But he's going to have a tough race. These four at the front, Landos, Jack, Piloto Paya, and Beaker, are so quick and about the same pace, which is going to make for an interesting sprint race when all of them try to overtake the cars in front.
Well, this is the thing, and I think also the people who've been battling and struggling to get past and felt like they've been held back, these guys are going to say, I gotta go hard, you know, I can't sit back because I got held back. I think Beaker's probably going to be one of those people. He was actually faster than the majority of the drivers on the track in that race, and I think that had he had any fresh air, I think he would have ran away with it.
Yep.
But he didn't, and that's the way this goes down. That's why now he's in a scenario of, well, do I just yeet it and just hope that I can get that position snatched away early? You know, especially the fact that now I'm technically ahead of these guys because Piloto's obviously going to be starting behind, Jack's going to be starting in P7, and then Landos is going to be starting in P8. So it's looking good for Beaker. He even had the fastest lap by quite a margin as well. Look at that, a 1:31.074. The next closest that I can see. Well, if you take Avia's time out, bear in mind he did that on softs. We are looking at Noosa did a 1:31.521, so it's a good time from him, but still, look where he finished.
Yeah, I mean, fastest lap doesn't really get you anywhere.
Gets you 2 points though, and that bit matters. Like right now, Beaker is 14 points, only 1 point behind Piloto. In fact, if we look at the overall weekend win, the positions still stay as they are based on the who got the points earlier. But Aviator obviously getting the 4 in the qualifying means he will actually still be P9, despite the fact he didn't actually score any points in the actual race. I mean, I was close with my prediction. I did say Jack and Landos, but I said them the other way around. I did say Beaker P3, and he let me down.
And I was basically entirely wrong, apart from Piloto Pi and P3, how I predicted to win. So, you know, still better than my predictions.
It happens. It's all right. I've been doing this for a long time now, you know?
Yeah.
Soft tyres on majority of the cars. Jeb and Ravenduck have got mediums on, so they're going to be in a worse position when it comes to race pace. But when it comes to the overall length, when the tyres get towards the end of the race, around about lap 6 is where the tyres will start to become better. It's just how much time have they lost by that point? Because if they lose too much, it's going to be unretrievable, and that's going to be the main problem we're going to see.
Yep.
We now have a weird bug right now.
That's bad.
I mean, I'm looking at the minimap. I can see them moving, but I can't. I've never seen this before. I have never, ever seen this bug before.
Are they moving for you on the track? No, they aren't.
They were. They're not now.
Well, this isn't great. I saw that Jeb dropped off the session, but no idea.
Oh, we are going. Okay. Well, the lights are on this time. And it's going to be underway with the formation lap. So Aviator's going to be leading us away here. Jack there in P2. That doesn't sound right. Oh, we're doing the exact same qualifying positions again. So the top 8 were meant to be reversed. But I think because Jeb disconnected, it broke the lobby and basically put them back to how they were at the end of qualifying. This is going to be interesting then.
Well, so much for the exciting sprint race with people trying to overtake slower cars. Well, at least Aviator gets to start from pole position, I guess.
He's been dealt a beautiful car there, hasn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, it's when it comes to the likes of Beaker as well, he's also in a much better position because he's starting further up the field. Lando's, I mean, for the top 5, they're much happier now than they were before because they were going to be much further down. It's when you get to the likes of, say, Marquez, for example, who was meant to be starting this race P1, and Jeb, who was meant to be in P2. Granted, yeah, Jeb's game did break, but Marquez is now going to be starting in P9. That's just going to make his race that bit harder.
Yeah, this is interesting. I've never seen this before, but okay, I guess we'll roll with it either way.
Well, I've just seen in the chat, Aviator's just said that on his side it's showing P13. So maybe it's working for everybody else except us.
I wouldn't know.
We'll wait till we get to the start line and figure it out once the lights come on properly. But I'm looking.
Oh no, he's right though. He's right. He's right. I think it's just the leaderboard which is bugged.
Interesting.
Because I can see a pink car lining up in pole position, which should be Marquez, and it is. Well, this is interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, physical cars are in the right positions on the circuit. It's just that the graphic on the left is not showing true. So we might say, oh, there it goes, fixed itself. Okay, good. Order has been restored, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, the lights are on as well. So we're about to get going here in Hungary for the last time in the F2 cars. And Marquez needs a start of dreams. I think Noosa was the one who just shoots off like an absolute missile with Roshko in tow. Beaker in tow as well. Marquez is dropping like a stone. He's got Dark Demise squeezing him up towards the grass. Dark Demise in P4 trying to get alongside Beaker, but Beaker's got the inside. He's really going for it. Look at him on the back now of Roshko. Is he going to try and fire around the outside?
I don't think he will. I don't think it would be successful anyway. But you mentioned that Marquez would have needed at the start of Dreams, and he certainly did not get it. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor exit. Pretty poor launch off the start. But, you know, the guy uses a keyboard, in fairness, so we can't really critique him too hard. That's pretty insane that he's able to race on a keyboard at all. So credit to him where credit's due. And he is there still, P6. If he can hold this towards the end, there's some solid points maybe on the table here for him. I'm looking at the other drivers to see if any of them are benefiting here. Noose is the one who's benefiting the most. Look at him running away.
Yep. He got an amazing start, and he's just pulling away. Roshko is actually a quick driver, but he makes some mistakes throughout the race, which should benefit Beaker and Piloto, who are currently keeping up with him. I wanted to say that Aviator really had a good start. He's in fighting for P7 now after starting at 13th after his crash in the feature race.
Oh, there's a big send it there. I think that's Charles trying to get down the inside of Ravenduck. It was. He went for a send, it hit the side of Ravenduck's car. Ravenduck has the inside line. It's going to be a tight squeeze between them, but they keep each other in check, and the gaps stay the same. I think Charles has the better exit, but now Ravenduck has the tow. He might be able to fire one back in on the inside. He's gone for the look-see, he's gone for the break-in, and I think he might get it back. It is going to be Ravenduck back up there, and he's actually getting 2 places. Aviator has fallen like a stone. P11 now. Charles jumping up as well. I think Charles had a mega off with, Aviator had a mega off with Jack, and that's put them right down the field at 9th and 11th.
Yep. I said that Aviator had a good first lap. Second lap didn't go that well. Yeah. Sad to see.
It's a shame.
Yep.
It's a real shame. But Jack is coming back at it, though. He's still here with Ravenduck. Remember, in the sprint race, which is what we're in right now, and he's going for the send. That's going to be a hell of a send, and Ravenduck has to cut the corner because there's nowhere else for him to go. Jack is still trying to get the exit round the outside. He's not going to work out, and Ravenduck, defending like a champion, will hold Jack back. And this is not going to be how he wants it to go, although he's found the gap. He's found a way through, and now it's Avier's turn. Jack is going to use Ravenduck to try and hold Aviator back as Avier's going off track, trying to pass, and that's caused him. Oh no! Aviator just tried a move that shouldn't happen and actually clips the back end of Ravenduck, sends him off into the wall. Ravenduck is still alive, but he has serious wing damage and seriously hot rear tires. Ultimately, that all started with Aviator's attempt at the overtake. I don't blame him for going for it, but there's a point where you got to back out, and he missed it quite drastically. DRS has been enabled, and we are now on lap 3.
Yep, Roscoe set the fastest lap, and he really managed to close the gap again to Noosa. While Noosa managed to pull away for 1.5 laps, Roscoe is really fighting for him for P1 again, and so are obviously Bika and Piloto Paya behind him. And this shapes up to be another 4-way battle for P1, just as we had in the feature race.
It is indeed. I'm actually looking at those fastest laps as well, and I can see that when you look at Noosa and Roshko's lap times, they are, yes, Roshko is that bit faster, but we're literally talking 0.04 of a second. That is nothing. That is so short in time, but they are here the other way around, with Noosa being the faster car right now overall, which is why he's got P1. Roshko is P2. Bika trying to chase him down. He is currently in podium position, but Piloto, we saw what he was able to do to him last race, where he held him back and stopped him from getting the podium position. Can he now do the reverse? Can he take Bika and stop him from getting the podium position?
It's going to be interesting again. And yeah, I mean, I want to say that Roshko is going to have the advantage of DRS now, but as we saw in the feature race, that kind of doesn't mean anything on this track because it's so hard to overtake. And even the home straight, which should be a good overtaking opportunity, it's just too short to really close the gap, and we see it now. Noosa doesn't even Roshko doesn't even have the DRS, so Noosa is in a really good position here.
Yeah, he's loving life right now, running away. Although Bika and Roshko, they swap places and they swap back, and then they swap back for a third time as Bika will move himself up to P2, and Piloto here on the back of this little battle that's going on. Roshko sends it a bit too deep. That's allowing Piloto to see the inside, but no opportunity to send it, and that's the problem. And that's what's caused him to stay P4, and he'll be like that for a while as Jack has a severe collision with Foxy, and that's what's caused the drop down the field. Jack has retired from the session. Foxy has 0 front wing, so if he can make it to the pits and go again, then he might be able to cross the line and finish, but it isn't going to be enough. And then Asia sets the fastest lap, 1:30.2.
Not bad. I mean, sadly, it doesn't really gain him anything, considering that he's in P11 right now and far away from P10. Well, P9 now. But yeah, bragging rights, that's what it's all about.
Well, this is it. Bragging rights is more than enough for me personally. If I could brag, I would brag. Bika has brought himself into the DRS range of Noosa, albeit barely, as he's only just there. Half a tenth is what is the gap between them, and the DRS range being just too much. It's now less than that. Can he break that though? Has he got the DRS? Yes, he has. So he's all good to bring it in a little bit. This is going to bring Roshko in along with him. Piloto in a better position, might actually be able to fire one on Roshko if he can get it, but it won't be turn 1 unless he severely late brakes, which he decides against it. Roshko locks up on the right side, which is going to allow Piloto to get the exit, or he can do that and lose the rear.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens a lot in these cars, especially on this track. Bika is really catching up to Noosa now, and if he keeps up this pace, he's going to have a few opportunities at overtaking. And well, while I say that, there's actually only going to be 2.5 laps after this, so Bika kind of has to hurry as well.
Yeah, no delays here. He has to get moving as soon as possible, otherwise that will be a lost opportunity. But 7 tenths is the gap that they have right now, with Roshko just sitting that a little bit further out at 8 tenths. Piloto, who's right on the gearbox of Roshko now. We're going to be watching to see if he can find any opportunity. Roshko is trying his best to cover all lines, and I don't think Piloto is going to be able to expose any of them. As Roshko taking those curbs very aggressively, and yeah, defending beautifully.
Yep, but this is really bad for Piloto. He's losing so much time in this middle sector because Roshko is kind of holding him up. It's quite obvious that Piloto could go faster, but it's just impossible to overtake there, especially in these cars. We shouldn't forget that there's also a fight for P5. It's Dark Demise against Marquez, which might become interesting on the home straight as well.
Indeed. Now, I just seen Ravenduck and Azia having a little scrap down the home straight. It was actually Oh no, Aviator, sorry, not Azir, Aviator. Aviator tried to send it down the inside, Ravenduck got the cutback of Dreams, and that ended up being Ravenduck back into P11. Granted, this isn't for any points position, but it's still an opportunity. Speaking of, Piloto's found one here on Roshko down the inside. Roshko's going to have to defend like a champ, and he's going to have to try and stay alongside of him. This is the difficulty that Piloto's got now, is he knows actually that the inside line is very dominant here on that right-hander, and that's what's caused the positions to be reset back to P3, P4. Piloto knows next lap is the only chance he's going to get P3, and he's going to need it if he wants to secure the overall weekend win.
This is deja vu for Piloto. He was stuck behind another car for the entirety of the feature race, and he has the same situation in the sprint race. He just cannot manage to overtake someone on the main straight, and I kind of feel for him. It's kind of sad.
It's very sad. Marquez actually seeing an opportunity to Dark Demise as he ran over that curve a bit too hard, a bit too aggressive. That's actually caused contact. Dark Demise turned into him.
Yep.
Sent Marquez over pretty hard. Marquez caught it. Again, reminding you, he's on a keyboard and he caught the car like that. And the F2 cars are so hard to catch. And he just made that look so simple, so easy. Back into P5 he goes. Dark Demise trying to send it, but not enough room. Almost clips the rear end, and they will stay P5, P6. Marquez, Dark Demise.
And now at the front, Bika has possibly his last chance at overtaking Yusa for the win in this sprint race. Bika closing in and closing in and closing in. Is he close enough? He's diving down the inside for turn 1. He is close enough.
Oh, they're still wheel to wheel though. That's actually Nusa just gets his front end tapped by Bika, but Bika gets such a good run through turn 1. That worked out wonderfully for him. Up in a P1 now for Bika. He needed this win. I think Bika might actually have enough points here to jump Piloto in the overall standings. We need to confirm. We'll have to wait for the weekend results. As Dactymize and Marquez swapping places one more time. Marquez has got the outside line if he can keep himself there. Again, remember, this is going to be better for him because the right-hander is much more powerful, but he cannot. And Dactymize will take P5. And I think that's it. I don't think Marquez can bring that back now.
Nope, I don't think so either. Unless Dactymize makes another mistake. I mean, he did on the previous lap, so it's very much possible. Also, shout out to Piloto Paya. He managed to overtake Roshko, finally on the last lap, into turn 1, just as Bika did. And Bika is now half a second in front of Nusa, and unless something dramatic happens, Bika should take this win.
Yeah, it looks so set now. It looks like Bika doesn't have to worry. He just has to maintain a level of pace that's just consistent here, as Nusa is half a second back, and with no real overtaking opportunities, it's after going to be a yeet into the final corner. He might be able to go for it, actually. Is he going to send it? Or is he going to go for the exit of Dreams? He's trying to get on the throttle early. Look how hard he's pushing. But Bika's got just as good an exit. And that allows Bika to get the win with Nusa in P2, Piloto P3, Roshko P4, Dactymize and Marquez. Dactymize is that much further up the field now that P5 is pretty much guaranteed.
There's one last fight for P9. Charles versus Foxy. Foxy without a front wing. He opted not to pit, and he's fighting against someone with half a front wing, which is kind of an interesting battle to see on the last lap.
A little bit of contact there between Foxy and Charles, and they are still scrapping. This is probably going to go right the way through to the end as Foxy is trying to take the outside line without a front wing. I didn't think that was even possible, but he's making it look possible. He's still sat here with him. Inside line is here. This has got to be it. This has got to be Foxy. Can he get the run out of the corner? I think he can. Foxy, without a front wing, secures P9 until he gets penalties and he goes back to P10. But still, that was incredible.
That was really good. He just opted not to pit, and I mean, why not?
Wow, I'm astounded he managed to pull that off. That is not easy in the slightest. To do that, what Foxy just did was incredible. Very well done there, Foxy, to hold on to physically P9, although when penalties come in, you do fall down to P10. So let's have a look at the overall weekend win when it comes to the F2 cars. It is going to be Bika who secures the overall weekend. I think that might be his second time. They've done it once before, I believe. But still, a really well-deserved overall weekend win, with Lando's getting P2, Piloto in P3, much further down than they normally expect him to be. But we have a three-way tie for P4. Jack, Roshko, and Nusa secure that P4 with 18 points. P7 is Dark Demise with Marquez in P8, Avia P9, Foxy P10 tied with Azia, and then Charles and Ravenduck tied for 12th position. Wow. Wow. What a race that was.
yeah, we had a smaller grid, but that was a lot of fun and a very close 2 races.
Now, that's it for the F2 cars, but don't go anywhere because we are very shortly going to go and show you a beautiful hype video showing you the previous race and how that fanned out over a little highlight video, and then we're going to get straight into the F1 cars along with all the big boys, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere.